Live from the House of LeMay Makeup and Dressing Room.
Here comes Amber. Stop what you're doing. Here comes Amber. She's just doing what she can. Here comes Amber. Cue the spotlight. Here comes Amber with 2 drinks in her hand. The matriarch of fashion, secret super glasses, you can't look away. Ask her, does she do it? There's really nothing to it. She's got that feminine game. If you have a party, or if you're feeling naughty, call up the House of LeMay. Here comes your favorite gal. Here comes your queen. Here comes the talk of the town. It's Amber Live tonight. The music starts playing. It's time for cabareting on Amber Live tonight.
Ladies and gentlemen, please turn off all cell phones and get ready for your host, Amber LeMay.
Hello, hello, hello. It's President's Day weekend. Do you have to work tomorrow? I hope not. But until then, I want you to like, share, and subscribe. Please do that. And now it's time for headlines. When Tesla announced their autopiloted automobiles, I'm sure you thought the same as I did. What could possibly go wrong? Recently released dashcam footage captured the moment a Tesla being driven on autopilot crashed into a parked patrol car, hitting an officer and sending a second vehicle into a ditch. The incident, which occurred in North Carolina last August, was the result of an autopilot attempt gone wrong, as the Tesla owner was watching a movie on his phone while the car drove itself. There's no report on what movie the non-driver was watching, maybe Fast and Furious 17. Now, other crashes involving Tesla's autopilot have resulted in at least 17 injuries and 1 death. And Tesla is currently under federal investigation, as there have been at least 11 incidents in which drivers using the autopilot feature have crashed into parked police cars, fire trucks, and other emergency vehicles. Yeah, no one can see that coming. You know, it gets cold here in Vermont in the winter, and it's been said whether you find a way to enjoy it or not, it's still going to be cold. And one way some people enjoy their frigid days is by going ice fishing. Now, ice fishing is the practice of catching fish through an opening in the ice on a frozen body of water. Ice fishers may fish in the open or in heated enclosures, sometimes referred to as shanties, and some are decked out with bunks and other amenities. Later this month in Brattleboro, Vermont, they're even having an artful ice shanty exhibit where artists can add color to the icy landscape. So, what could go wrong with ice fishing? Well, I suppose your shanty could catch fire or could possibly fall through the ice, or there have been times when fisher people have been stranded on breakaway ice floes. But the mayor of Hudson, Ohio, Craig Schubert, sees another problem with ice fishing: prostitution. This isn't the first time Schubert has expressed some interesting ideas. Last year, he argued that offering creative writing classes in schools would encourage students to write erotica, or worse, pornography, and that any school board members who allowed such instruction could possibly face criminal charges. Now, during a discussion about ice fishing safety, Schubert expressed grave concern that the popular winter activity could create a slippery slope that ultimately leads to a flurry of sex workers descending upon Hudson, a suburb of Cleveland. Wow, talk about blue balls. Yes, I know this is a recorded show, but I have to break in here live. Apparently, Mayor Schubert heard that I was going to bring international attention to his ignorance, and he resigned this past Monday. Schubert said in his resignation letter that his comments at a city council meeting had been misinterpreted. And I quote, "My attempt to inject a bit of dry humor to make a point about this in the midst of a cold, snowy February was grossly misunderstood. Some in our community saw this as an opportunity to engage in the politics of personal destruction by means of character assassination, blaming me for the negative international press they helped to promote. My job here is done. And now we'll take you back to our regularly recorded program. Can you imagine how frightening it would be to come across a body while hiking in the woods? Georgia deputies say they responded to the forest area on the Hitchiti National Forest Trail on February 3rd and saw what appeared to be the body of a woman wearing white socks. At first glance, the blonde-haired body, which was covered in dirt and wearing blue shorts and a pink tube top, appeared somewhat lifelike. But deputies quickly realized the body was actually a life-size sex doll. The officers retrieved the doll, which for some reason they named Selena, and issued this statement. If you know Selena or are responsible for her whereabouts, rest assured no DNA was collected and you are safe. But in the future, please make sure to dispose of your items in a responsible way. I guess just don't let her drive your Tesla to Hudson, Ohio. And that's this week's headlines. And now it's time to talk to Russell. Russell, come on in.
Hey, Amber, how are you?
I'm doing fine, Russell.
Good.
I'm doing fine. All right. I think we should start right off by telling people this is a recorded show. So while we aren't having a few of our regular features, you can still comment, and we'll be watching, so we can comment during the show as well. So feel free to continue to do that.
Yes, we look forward to your comments.
Yes.
And the best place to comment is over on YouTube. And that's youtube.com/Amber Live. And the reason you should watch over there is because over on YouTube, Amber is in full HD. And don't forget, we have a TikTok channel, an Instagram, and we have our website, amberlive.tv, all of which have other great material. So when you're done watching the show tonight, you can go there and see what else is going on with Amber, because she's got a lot.
Oh, yeah, there's a lot of fun things over there on our YouTube channel. That's for sure.
Yes.
And, you can join us for Amber Chat on Wednesday night, which we have a great time with that, talking from people from all over the country, all over the world sometimes. And we're just talking about what we had for dinner or what we're watching on TV or anything else that pops up. We just chat for about an hour and then go on our way. That's Wednesday nights, usually around 8:15 to 9:15. So that's good to join us as well. All right,
Yes.
Russell. And now what do you want to talk about?
The bustiers.
Hey.
We want to thank all our bustiers. We added 2 new super bustiers this week, Craig Hilliard and a secret admirer. So thank you to both of them. Thank you very much. And in a continued strong show of support this week, our bustiers came through. Stepping up to the plate this week, we had Sam Stanley, Serena Magnan O'Connell, Johnny McLaughlin, Matt Viennes, and Michael Schultz. Amazing. Those are all additions to the list. Thank you so much. I know you've donated in the past, and we appreciate that you come back and continue to support Amber Live as we grow and get bigger and bigger and better guests. We'd love to have you as one of our bustiers. And if you'd like to help us out, you can use the Venmo that you see there, which is at RJDPro. Or if you'd like to use a credit card, go to amberlive.tv and just look for the Support Amber Live button. And that way you can become one of our bustiers and help keep the lights on in Amber's basement. And if you donate $25 or more, you get a sticker with our logo on it. For $100 or more, I will send you a sticker and a magnet of the logo. And for $200 or more, you get a sticker, a magnet, and a mug. And so, again, that's the Venmo at RJDPro. And we want to thank all of our bustiers, super and regular, and named and anonymous secret admirers. And I do
secret
have
admirer.
I
Wow.
know.
And I spent Valentine's Day by myself, and I have a secret admirer.
Yeah,
or is
exactly.
Is it your secret admirer?
Ooh, hard to say, but this is a special month for both you and I, and so we have a special thing about the bustiers. We have birthday bustiers, and we want you all to become a birthday bustier. And I've got a picture there of the House of LeMay down on Craig's boat, Craig's yacht on Lake
Yeah.
Champlain many years ago.
Oh,
And you can
yes.
see Amber and I in the back, and Lucy and Marguerite in the front. So if you'd like to give us a little treat for our birthdays, there's a Venmo at RJD Pro, and you can be a birthday bustier this month.
Yes.
So
Yeah,
thank
that's
you.
why we're recording for tonight's show, is because your birthday was on the 11th and mine was on the 19th, and we said, oh, let's take some time off and enjoy growing older. So that's what we're
Amber
doing.
needs to go out in search of vodka.
That's right. And my secret admirer. Ooh, yes, yes, yes.
And her secret admirer. Yeah.
All right. So what's coming up on this show, Russell?
Oh, we have such a great show tonight. Of course, we're going to have Pass the Tea later on, and Rocco will be here, but we have an amazing guest tonight. We have filmmaker David LaRosa, who is a friend of Brad Forenza, our friend, who has been on the show a couple times now.
Yes.
And David has made a number of films in his career, including one that's out there on Paramount Plus called Clandestine. And he's here to tell you all about it, Amber, and how he got started and how he's keeping it going. So
yeah, it's really interesting about how you put together a movie from scratch, basically.
Yeah.
And how far he's come. So I'm really looking forward to that. And we might have some few surprises too from some clips from
we
past
always have
episodes,
surprises.
Yeah. All right, Russell. Let's
right.
get on with our interview with David.
Yes, enjoy.
All right. Yes, as Russell said, we've got filmmaker David LaRosa. So let's go to that interview now. All right, our first guest tonight, we're going to talk about films, the film industry, how he got involved, and what he's doing today. So let's welcome David LaRosa. David, come on in.
Hey, Amber. How you doing?
Hi, I'm doing well, David. So I understand you do everything in movies, from acting to producing. How did you get started?
Well, I started acting back in '95. Did the usual, went got my headshot, started taking acting classes. Then I started doing some film classes, and we did student films. And then I started doing theater. And then from there, you audition and try to get roles and things and deal with the whole casting process, which is not always fun. And then in around over the years, my acting teachers had always said to me, you should get involved in directing as well.
Was that a comment on your acting ability?
I don't know. It's hard to say, but hopefully not. But and I always kind of ignored it because I was young and I felt like, well, I should be in front of the camera and you're pushing me to behind the camera and all that, arrogance of youth. And then as time went on, I started to realize, I think I'd kind of enjoy crafting the whole message of the movie and the look and the feel, especially with directors like Ridley Scott and David Fincher, who just had this, and James Cameron, they have this feel to their movies when you watch them. So around 2006 or 7, I'd had a lot of turmoil with family members passing away and things like that. And I started to kind of really question if I wanted to keep auditioning for, years and years and just hope that, I will get something. So ironically, around that time, I had met my, then she was just a friend. She became my wife. And we started a theater company called Granite Theater Company. And we did that for one show, an off-Broadway show. And then we decided we wanted to do film. And we started our first film company called Feenix Films in 2008 with 2 other people, one of them being Kate McGrath, who's still one of my producing partners, as well as my wife, Janine Leno, who's the other producing partner. And then we just started to learn the business, seriously learn the business as far as the importance of sound and lighting and, script analysis and all those things, distribution, of course, because that's how you're going to make your money back. And we just kept on, we had this business model. I joke around that before Marvel had their phase 1, or phase 2, phase 3, phase 4, we kind of had our phases. And we were going to, each phase, we wanted to develop on the last step from the last project. So the first project was $400, and then the next project was $2,000, and then the following one was $4,000, and Clandestine was much, much more than that.
So tell us about that first film.
The first film under Feenix Films was something called Lock, Load, Love, which was a vignette-styled piece about the perils of online dating. So it was something that we did a premiere in New York in the basement of a building where they let us do it for free. We just didn't get any of the bar, which we probably should have in retrospect. We could charge whatever we wanted for tickets. And I think we broke the fire code by about 20 to 25 people. I think fire code occupancy was 80, and we had nearly 100, 110 people in this basement. And it was awesome because I think it was one of the first times as a filmmaker I realized how much you could impact so many different people with your stories. And especially something that we all have in common, which is dating. That's a nightmare for everybody. So,
what was the script taken from personal experience?
Some of it was. For instance, I wrote it with another writer, Chris Ryan, who then acted in several of our projects after that. But I had somebody I'd went on a blind date, and she told me the whole time, well, midway through, she started talking to me about her husband, which I was slightly alarmed by. And then I said to her, "Oh, so you're married?" She goes, "Oh, no. We're divorced. It's just, force of habit. But I'm over him. I'm totally over him." And I said, "Well, that's good." I was like, "How long have you guys been divorced?" She's like, "Oh, long time. Ancient histories, about 2 months." And I was like, "I don't think this is a good idea." So it was that was a scene that we put in almost word for word that date into that. And then other ones were just kind of like stories I had heard, stories my friends went through, stories Chris had gone through, and stories his friends had. And then just times thinking about, wow, what would be a nightmare? Like, what if you, there was this song by Garbage from the 90s that they used for the trailer in Romeo and Juliet with Leonardo DiCaprio. I forgot the name of it, but it's basically about a stalker, how she'll die for you, she'll live for you, all these things. And I listened to that one night, and I just started writing about this guy goes on this blind date, and he walks into this seemingly nice restaurant bar, but nobody's there until there's a voice from upstairs like, "I'm so happy you came," It becomes this like sex crazed vampire woman, basically. Yeah, normal date on the East Coast.
While you were making this first film, what were you doing for a living?
What was I what?
What were you doing for a living?
Well, let's see. I was trying to find work. The first film I was working as a vendor for Disney. I had to go from store to store and make sure that they had all the Disney products out, all the movies. I did it for 5 years, which was about 5 years longer than I thought I was going to do it for. But I did it anyway. And then in the midst of all that, I decided I want to go get my master's degree in social work. So I applied and got accepted to Fordham and did their program from 2010 to 2012. And then came out with a master's degree and couldn't find a job anywhere. So, kicked around doing that for a while. And then I was doing freelance video editing and, edited, I don't know, maybe 4 billion weddings. And then a couple of other things here and there. But so I did that while we were learning the business and, making one of the things I liked about the degree was, I could do a dual concentration at Fordham. I could do therapy, which is what I did, but then also they had client-centered management where you learned about administration and management and things like that, which I felt would be very helpful, running a film company and working with, the multitude of different personalities you deal with. So that was what I did. And then as time went on, I got some better jobs, which were much, allowed you to have a little bit more of a living. So
now your degree with the therapy, have you used any of that knowledge working with actors?
Oh yeah. I use it with myself too. So it goes both ways. But no, absolutely. Because you're dealing with personalities. I think, the thing when we had Feenix Films, because we wrapped that up in 2018, we realized it had kind of run its course as far as the business model that we had, what we would be able to do with it moving forward. And then it starts, it's boring for the audience, I'm sure, but if you're hiring actors and you hire them under your tax ID, and then that actor applies for unemployment, your unemployment insurance now goes up. So after 10 years and you're working with actors, I was thinking, like, this is ridiculous. We're going to do a movie, and this money, instead of going on screen, is going to go to our unemployment insurance, which does nothing in any way for us. So, and you can't tell those people, please don't apply for unemployment. And that and multitude of other things, it just became just very top heavy. And we all agreed makes a lot more sense to just create a production for the actual production, and then get it all done and tie it up nicely, and then create a production for the next one. And you just kind of, move along that way.
So you have one film that's being shown on Paramount Plus right now, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And tell me about that.
That film is Clandestine. That was our phase 5, shall I say. That was where we were, everything that we had wanted to do when we started the company in 8. We had gotten to the point where we felt confident by 13 when we filmed that movie. And one of the things was we want to be able to push ourselves, hire the necessary people. Sound and lighting and camera are some of the most important aspects of a production. So we really wanted to make sure we were in a space where we could hire those people, and we hired great people for that. The DP I'm actually going to be using on our next film as well. And we wanted to be able to hire a name actor or someone of recognition. So we approached a lot of different people. We heard from some interesting folks who we couldn't come to agreements on. But from the beginning was Tom Sizemore, who some people know, a lot of people know from Heat and Saving Private Ryan. He was interested from the very beginning. He was one of the first people that got back to us. And, then we had some other names floated to us that, were pretty big, and we wanted to go with them, but, they were the whole budget of the movie. So we, couldn't do that.
You said you were going to keep the DP for your next project, director of photography?
Yeah, I'm sorry, director of photography. Yeah.
That's okay. And what was your function for the movie?
For Clandestine? I was a producer, director, and an actor. So
okay. Well, we've got the trailer for that, so let's watch it right now.
Okay, great.
Okay, Officer Cooper. I need for you to speak clearly for us and tell us exactly what happened.
I got a kid, wife. These last few days, I'm thinking I'm raising my family here.
I understand, Agent Mackenrowe, but I don't believe meth is everywhere.
White, black, poor, rich, doesn't matter anymore. For me, honestly, this is just another town. Yeah, but this is my town.
I think that you and Mackenrowe decided to start a fire with the community because you fell asleep on the job.
She looks clean. No nasty meth mouth, right?
Well, she does something.
She's here. I don't know what she's found yet.
The Hernandez van had alcohol, surgical tubes, beakers, the whole nine. The only thing it didn't have was the drug.
Mrs. Hernandez, we have a warrant.
You want to not have a wife to come home? You want to not have a little girl to come home to?
You don't get it. Those people out there that I see every day, they could be us. What are you gonna start with?
Odds are I'll just leave with the usual. You see a kid playing in the front yard and it smells like piss, call the police.
You were saying that you don't manufacture?
Yeah, that's right.
Well, then who does? Because you were on your way somewhere.
It pains me a great deal to tell you this, but methamphetamine is here. Right here.
Okay, here we go.
it easy.
Come on.
Now you understand that, Scott? You get that, Scott? Now get out of my goddamn
don't worry.
office
I don't want to
and
be.
do your job.
Don't raise your voice at me. Oh, you dropped your firearm. I need engine and medic at 10 Malone Avenue.
You should be thanking me.
You threw me under a bus.
Wow. So what was the budget for that?
It was, we ended up making it for 56 to 65, depending on what we're looking at. So it was, but it was, you know, we did a bunch of audience testing afterwards. And one of the questions I wanted to know was, how much did you think we spent? So a lot of people came back at about 2 million, which I thought was good.
Yeah.
So, you know, it's really just about having good performances, good, you know, camera, good audio, good setups, making sure the camera tells the story of the scene, the emotion, and, you know, what you're trying to convey. And Kate, who plays Julia in the film, she wrote it based off of the stories of her father was a Long Island cop. He actually is retiring. Today's his retirement party, ironically. So she's going to Long Island to celebrate. But yeah, so it was she started writing the script in 2002 before we were in acting class, but we weren't friends yet. And then she came into Feenix in 8, 9. And she showed it to me soon thereafter, and we just kept on working it and changing it and altering it. And, you know, she was very easygoing in regards to changing her script, which some writers are not, especially in the midst of filming. So, you know, there were times where you start filming and everything starts to change. Characters, just what the actors are bringing, you realize you like something more than what's in the script, or, you know, and you start to change things. And so certain moments had to change, dialogue, scenes, and, you know, I would tell her, hey, I think we have to change this. And then, you know, she was like, okay, you know. And then my wife had a couple of ideas about a classroom scene that takes place in the movie, about bringing it more into the story, because on the page with the script, it fit perfectly. It made sense. But when you're looking at it on film, it's like, well, why is this scene in the movie? What's this about? So by kind of cutting it in and doing little things that we did by cutting in scenes of this choice that Kate's character is trying to go through, while this very wholesome Norman Rockwell Mayberry scene is going on, really kind of tied it together. So she was great with that. I'm a big believer you have to have a great team with you in order to do anything, and people you like. I was talking to Russell a little bit about that prior, and just working with good people and having a good cell of folks around you that you enjoy dealing with. So,
how many days did it take to film that movie?
We shot that on weekends, on and off, from June of 13 until I did pickup shoots in February of 14, and then we went back. There's a park scene that I edited the whole movie. I had a rough cut, pretty close to a final cut, and I just felt there was Cooper, who's the lead cop in the film, and Julia, Kate's character. I just didn't understand their relationship. So I was at my parents' house one night, and I was getting all, you know, angsty over that's just not working. Something's not working. And my mother, my father, and Janine, my wife, started just saying, well, what if we have this like park scene? So we told Kate, she wrote a scene, and then July of 14, we went back and just shot this scene and showed people what their hair looked like a year before in the scene right prior to that. And then everyone did a great job. It was, and I didn't have to be in that scene, so I was very happy. So I was able to just direct it. But so yeah, it's it took us a while. We didn't have Tom Sizemore until September. And we had been shooting since June. So we were either going to go with somebody in our troupe of actors if we couldn't get a name, but we really realized to get distribution, we needed to have a name, someone who was recognizable in it. So
this is an extensive interview, so we're going to take a little break right now. And so coming up, we've got, what do we have coming up? We've got Rocco, and we've got an encore presentation of Sweaty Balls. So, but one more time for you, Russell.
Yes, let's not forget our good friends at the Bustiers. And if you'd like to be a Bustier, please help us out using that Venmo at RJD Pro. And don't forget, this is Amber and my birthday month, so be a birthday Bustier and help us out. Give us a little tip and keep the lights on in Amber's studio there. You do want to see her.
Yes. You know what? If you saw us in person out in the bar, you'd probably buy us a drink. So why don't you just Venmo that drink money to us, all right? But we'll put it to good use. That's for sure.
And you know Amber's getting a large drink with top shelf, so.
That's right. So, put a few more in there. All right, Russell, let's get on with the show.
Well, let's have a moment with a word from our sponsor.
Hey, it's Lucy Bell. Have you visited the Amber Live store to get your own amazing Amber Live merch? Just visit amberlive.tv and you can see all the incredible items we have for you. Regular coffee mugs, large coffee mugs, and even magic coffee mugs. T-shirts, hoodies, sweatshirts, tote bags, and even beach towels. Y'all, they make great gifts for your friends. I've got mine. Just visit the Amber store at amberlive.tv and order yours today.
Hey, Lucy Bell, we miss you. We need some more bitching in the kitchen. Get on back here, all right? Now let's get back to our interview with David LaRosa. So being on Paramount Plus, do you get paid per view, or do they just, how does that work?
It depends. There's a lot of different approaches. We're with Screen Media, which is owned by Chicken Soup for the Soul. We had been with another distributor initially, and then they went out of business, and they sold their library to Screen Media. So there's different agreements when a library gets, bought or whatever. But it tends to be by view. But you get your financials every, twice a year, and you just look and go, oh, okay, that's good. That's nice.
What did you do during the pandemic, during the lockdown? What kept you busy?
My wife and I wrote 2 scripts, and I started doing a podcast myself. I had someone suggested I do it, and I'm always fascinated on how creative people tend to be able to have different views and thoughts, and yet come together and work on one thing. And I always have a strict rule during my when I'm filming that there's no politics. We're going to focus on the only politics and political party we care about is the film. I had one person start to stray away from that when we were making Clandestine, because there was a current events going on. And I took her aside and I just said, we're not, we need to not do that here, because I don't need people engaged in nonsense of the world while we're trying to make this fictional reality. So to her credit, she got her stuff together and she didn't talk about that stuff anymore. But yeah, I started doing a podcast, and that was fun. And we started getting we're doing an equity crowdfunding for our upcoming movie, which is a lot of SEC regulations, and you have to submit to the SEC, and we're doing it on the WeFunder platform. And it's investment. It's not, give me some money, please, like Indiegogo or one of those, or GoFundMe. It's a full-fledged, someone is investing in your movie, and then as your movie makes money, then they make their money back as well. So
what is this project?
It's called The Tale of Nicky Newark, which is a reimagining of our 2011 film called Nicky Newark, which is about a parole officer that wants to be an actor. He is a very non-politically correct guy who is really, at the end of the day, is trying to figure out, how all this stuff works, what life is about and what he wants. And he has a 8-year-old daughter who is his sole focus and the one kind of beacon of goodness, not goodness, but like hope in his life, so to speak. And through these acting classes, he ends up meeting this female actress who shows him that life can be pure and beautiful as well. And he starts to change and starts to reevaluate, what he wants out of life and really what's important. Is acting really important, or is being a happy, fulfilled person important? What is, ultimately, what does he want out of life? And that journey is what the film's about. And the audience gets to discover that, and hopefully have a little mirror shown up to themselves as it goes on. Those are the kind of films I like, where someone can say, how do I carry myself, and not preach them and whack them over the head like we're doing a game of whack-a-mole, but just people can think about, I wonder if I'm doing everything I want to do in my life. So then at the end of the movie, he makes a decision, and but we do it through a smart ass, edgy guy who's I had played the role when we did it back in 2011, but I'd like people to actually see the movie this time. So we are looking at casting name actors for the lead character, Bobby Cannonoli, and then the female actress I mentioned, that character. So, but that's what we're doing right now. And the movie was always very near and dear to me. It's based off of my life, and then also the life of my good friend of mine, who's actually a parole officer. So I kind of combined a bunch of different things, including having been a Disney vendor multiple times, going into the city for auditions when I was supposed to be in a store, checking on something, and instead I'm, in New York City auditioning for a part with, my Disney movie crew shirt and, all that stuff. But
when can we expect to see the finished product of that one?
Well, we're doing the equity crowdfunding raise now. That film has a budget of $500K. And all the perks and goodies are on the site if people visit the link there. We can't give any of those specifics because that's SEC regulation stuff. But the goal is that once we make our raise, we can then make our offers, although we do have some people who are interested at this point. And then ideally, I'd like to make the movie in the fall, late summer, fall. It's going to be about a 3 to 4 week shoot, 6 days a week. And then probably 4 to 5 to 6 months of editing, depending on how well how quickly we can get through it. And then one of our producers is actually a distributor. So that's a huge thing. Michelle Alexandra is been a distributor for at least a decade, if not longer. So we have some really nice inroads in getting the film noticed, getting the film a good distribution deal, which would then make a good return on investment for investors. So
one of the projects you were working on recently was with our good friend Brad Fallon. Can you tell us about that?
Brad Forenza? Yeah.
Forenza, I'm sorry. Yes.
No. That's okay. That's all right. Yeah, Brad is great. I met Brad, was a member of a theater company, a local theater company. I left and he came in. I think we missed each other by about 6 months to a year. And then Brad wanted to start making films. And he'd come to see a screening of Clandestine we did, and really nice guy. We hit it off, and he asked me some suggestions. He always likes to say that I mentored him, which I think is kind of ridiculous because he's done it on his own. But I gave him suggestions, like, you know, that's really all I did. And my main suggestion was just always try to get better, improve on what you did prior, and try to get people in your projects that some folks are going to recognize so that they want to watch it. So he's done that, and then he's gone off and done his own, you know, amazing, just constant growth and building. So during the pandemic, one of the things that he did was he came up with this Around the Sun, which is about group of people in New York, all strangers, who have these interactions, and just how do they deal with life and the challenges. And what I loved what he did about it was that it's once again, it's that thing that I think everybody can relate to. Everybody can take something from and say, oh, that's, you know, that's, I had an experience like that. Well, that's interesting. Yeah, I thought it was very touching. I thought he did a really nice job with it. So I did a scene called Red Light about a lady of the night who is with an actuary who was told to look her up next time he was in town. So they have this whole conversation, and, you know, he's kind of all over the map as far as where he's at. And then at the end, it's, you know, it's just an interesting kind of wrapping up of their experience. You kind of wonder, well, I wonder what's going to happen. Did he make an impact on her? I had a perspective about the scene that I think was probably a little different than what Brad had intended, but I felt that this guy was actually her guardian angel, who had come to kind of try to show her a different way. And I like to think at the end he triggered something in her deep down, where she's going to start to evaluate what she wants to do. You know, if maybe she'll be happy forever being a prostitute, that's fine. You know, if that's what fills you, well, I want to say fills you up because that sounds horrible, but if that's what makes you feel good, then, you know, whatever. But anyway, I think it was very interesting, and he writes very deep and personal stories, which I think is important. I think it's really good to have those people's ideas and stories out there, you know.
All right. Very good, David. Well, thank you so much for talking with us this afternoon. We learned a lot about the film industry, about your projects, and how it gets all put together.
Thank you for having me. It was a pleasure.
Yes, thank you, David. What we're going to do is we're going to show you the Beaver Pond Players in Sweaty Balls.
Ladies and gentlemen, the Beaver Pond Players proudly present Sweaty Balls.
Balls, 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 sweaty balls, 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 sweaty.
We love to walk the streets of town on hot and muggy nights. Our faces never with a frown, those glorious summer sights. For when the air is sticky, it affects men old and young. For things start turning quickly, and all appear to be hung. It's a very manly condition, one that we so admire. An almost certain aspiration that sets our loins on fire. Balls,
balls, sweaty
balls, sweaty balls, sweaty balls. How we love those sweaty balls, sweaty balls, sweaty balls. How we love those sweaty balls. I love the man who winds his stance, his scrotum isn't tight. I get to see his balls dance to the left and to the right. With his hands inside his pockets, I'll watch him tug and tug. It's almost like he's scratching at a bug. The scratch may start above the belt, but lower down the itch is felt. When they swing both to and fro, it's proof he's going commando. Balls,
sweaty
balls, sweaty balls, sweaty balls. How we love those sweaty balls. isn't shrinkage, the opposite is true. Osmosis is so present, I took biology too. The small ones get humongous, the bigger ones get grand. If they'd only stop to let us, we'd give them all a hand. So that's our sordid story, we swear it all is true. So when you go out walking, we'll be looking out for you and your balls.
Sweaty
balls, sweaty balls, sweaty balls. How we love those sweaty balls, sweaty balls, sweaty balls. How we love those sweaty balls, sweaty balls, sweaty balls. How we love those sweaty balls, sweaty balls, sweaty balls. How we love those sweaty balls, sweaty balls, 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 sweaty balls.
That's balls, folks.
Always love watching that. Want to thank Jack Quint, our writer and director and producer of that segment. He was really good to work with. And now another guy who's good to work with is Rocco. Hey, Rocco, what you got for us this week?
Hey, Amber, it's me, Rocco. I just want to take this time to say, first of all, I'm at work, all right? I'm at work. I was reading erotic poetry to nurses, and just when I was about to get to the part where, things climax, they called me down into the kitchen. So now I'm working down at the kitchen today. They said, Rocco, you like sandwiches? You want to come down and work in the kitchen? I said, you bet your ass. Just make sure I get some free grapes or something. I don't work for nothing, So, anyway, Amber, you're old. That's all I'm going to say is you're old. You look it, you smell it. But at the same time, you're all right. I kind of like it. You're cool. So, hey, you guys want to say happy birthday to... no, to Amber. You're not going to say happy birthday. Forget that, all right? You don't even want to hear what they were saying. These people are nuts over here. You should see them. But they don't want to be on camera because of you. I said, you guys want to wish Amber a happy birthday? They said, yes. And I said, Amber LeMay? And they said, not a freaking chance in hell. You hear that? Just the fact that I asked them, they're going crazy. I got an exit sign over my head. That means it's time to say goodbye. All right? Amber, seriously, happy birthday. You don't look a day over dead. And so that's about it. This is Rocco Zamboni saying I'll see you next week. All you people out there who've been watching, what the hell's wrong with you? All right. Bye.
You never know what to expect with Rocco. Thank you very much for watching this week. Really appreciate it. We'll be back live next week, and we've got some great shows with some great guests coming up. It's really cool. Going to be a lot of fun. So we'll see you till next time. So bye-bye.
My dad dated Amber for a while. He did? He said it was the worst 60 minutes of his life. I guess he's never watched this show then.